Hi, I'm Rita Wilkins, also known as the Downsizing Designer. Today's topic is something really important. It's about understanding your cluttering habits so that you can fix them. So we've all decluttered before, but somehow that mess just keeps coming back. Have you ever asked why? Because clutter isn't just about stuff, it's about habits. And if you don't change your habits, your home will never stay clutter-free. So stay with me because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the hidden habits that are keeping your home messy and the one mindset shift that finally broke my own clutter cycle. So take a look around your home right now. Is there a chair in your bedroom that's covered with clothes that you just didn't feel like putting away? Or is there a drawer that won't even close? Or what about the piles of paper that you swear that you're going to take care of, but then you never do? So if you say yes to any of these, you're not alone. I used to be there and, always trying, always feeling like the clutter controlled my life instead of the other way around. But what if I told you your clutter isn't actually the problem, it's your habits. And once you change them, everything changes. So let me show you how. So I thought I was doing everything right. I read the books, I followed the checklists, I listened to many videos. And yet a few weeks after I decluttered, my space would look messy again. I was stuck and I was in a cycle and I didn't understand why. Until I had a huge breakthrough, I realized that I wasn't just dealing with the stuff, I was also dealing with my habits. So clutter just doesn't appear overnight. It sneaks in. And it does through habits that you may not even realize that you have. So let me show you what I mean. So if you think about it, if you pick up an old jacket that you haven't seen in years, but you say to yourself, what if I need it someday? Or I spent so much money on it, I really don't want to give it away. If that sounds familiar. Or maybe you have family heirlooms that are taking up space in your basement, but every time you think about donating them, you hear a little voice in your head saying, but it belonged to grandma. And what about your guest bedroom? Has it become a catch-all for everything that you don't know what to do with, all of the seasonal decor, the outdated things? But you'll get to it when you have time someday. So do you ever promise yourself you're going to get to it, but then you never really do? So are you starting to see that the habits, your clutter habits, are actually contributing to that clutter? So let's dig in just a little deeper so you can start to see for yourself how clutter actually happens. So if you walk through your home room by room, what kind of clutter do you see? Clothes in your closet that you never wear, but you're holding on to just in case, or bulk items in your pantry that you bought because they were on sale, but it will take you forever to use them because there's so many. Or gifts that were given to you that were never used and they're still in the box maybe. So pay attention to why you keep holding on to these particular items. And the next thing is to recognize your emotional ties or attachment to that clutter. These are called triggers. So a trigger would be, I spent good money on that dress. I can't possibly give it up. Or what if I need those big boxes of cereal, all 12 of them, even though there's only 2 of us? Or I'd feel guilty if my mother-in-law knew that I gave away that special tray that she gave me. So are you starting to see that clutter is actually emotional? That's why we get triggered. And when you start to recognize this, it's a big step towards letting go of this stuff and the old habits. So now let's talk about your shopping habits that add to the clutter. So are you an impulse shopper, either online or in store or both? Do you tend to buy things when you're stressed, after a hard day at work, or when you're bored or lonely on a weekend? And now look around at the areas that clutter tends to pile up in your home. These areas are called clutter magnets. So as an example, your kitchen counter, your dining room table, are they clutter magnets where your keys, your phone, the mail, anything lands there? So if you take a look at your bedroom chair, how big is that pile at the end of each week? So by now, I hope that you're beginning to see exactly how your habits are causing the clutter in your home. But here's the good news. Habits can change. So let's talk about clutter resistance next. Those excuses that we make for not dealing with clutter, putting it off. So let me know if any of these sound familiar. So there's clutter avoidance. I'm so busy, I don't have time, it's exhausting, it's overwhelming, I don't know where to start. So the reality is, when you avoid dealing with it, it's only going to get worse. The next one is clutter tolerance. So I'm not a very organized person. This is just the way that it is. So when you accept clutter as your norm, you miss out on the peace and calm of a clutter-free environment. And the next one is clutter blindness. You might have heard of this before, where you just don't even notice it anymore. So the piles of dirty laundry in the corner of your closet, the stacks of unread mail or magazines. But just because you become used to it doesn't mean it doesn't cause overwhelm and stress. And the last one is clutter denial. So an example there might be, my home is not cluttered. I like it this way. But does your clutter really make you happy, or is that just another excuse? So the bottom line, excuses just keep us stuck. They don't change anything, and if your clutter habits don't change, neither will your clutter. So here's what it's costing you. Time. So when you think of how many hours you waste looking for things like your glasses, your keys, your remote, it's costing you freedom. So clutter steals away your energy and your focus, and also peace of mind. So, but the good news is you're in control, and if you want, you can change your habits, and you can also get your life back. So I've got 5 practical strategies to break free of your old clutter habits. The first one is just being self-aware. So acknowledge the problem, identify your biggest clutter habits and the excuses that you've been making. What habits are preventing you from decluttering? And then recognize your emotional triggers. This is really important. The stress, the boredom, the guilt, all of those are holding you back. And then also create a vision for how you want your home to feel. So when you walk in, you want to feel calm, peaceful, or organized. And the next thing is to take small steps every day towards meaningful change and progress. So if you could practice one single new habit or behavior until it just becomes automatic and second nature to you. So hanging up your clothes, making your bed, using 10-minute decluttering bursts each day to declutter one small area, designating a home for everything. Where does your mail go when it comes in? And then also keeping a donation box handy. And then the third step is to build new sustainable habits. So that one in, one out method. So you buy something, it comes in, something old goes out. And then there's the nightly reset, a great sustainable habit. Just take 5 minutes at the end of the day to tidy up. So when you come down in the morning, it feels great. And then the next one is to create a landing zones, a specific place for your phone, your keys, your remote, so that you're not having to look for it because you always put it back in that same place. And then a fourth step is to build a team and a support system. So sharing your decluttering goals with a friend is so important. Someone who will hold you accountable, who'll notice when your old habits start to reoccur, and also they'll help you get back on track because they care. And then also talking about your decluttering journey, the good, the bad, the ugly, it will motivate you, and it will also inspire others who are on that same journey. And then the last one is to celebrate your wins. So your brain actually loves rewards. So celebrate the small victories to build the momentum. And things that you should know, these are just other little tips, but decluttering does take time. You'll have good days, you'll have bad days. And the process of decluttering is different for everyone. So please don't compare your progress to someone else's. because it won't make a difference for you and it won't make a difference for them either. And then the other one is to let go of perfection because it's about progress. It's not about perfection. So if you've gotten this far and you're ready to work on changing your habits so you can fix them once and for all, let's talk about maintaining your clutter-free habits and your lifestyle. So it's so important to continue to monitor your triggers and your habits because you may not have seen it before. Now suddenly that's reappearing. So once you know what to look for, you're already halfway there. The next thing is to proactively address your old habits. To prevent that clutter buildup, you build new ones. And then the third is to remember that you're in control, not the clutter. So as soon as you start to resist, disrupt that cycle and then enjoy your new clutter-free life. So are you ready to break through of this clutter cycle? So decluttering isn't just about getting rid of stuff. It's about creating a home that supports the life that you really want. So I hope this video has helped you. And if it has been helpful, please like and leave a comment below. Those are so important, and I actually derive a lot of information from you, and that could be the next thing that I talk about. And so if you know someone who also needs to hear this, please share it with them because you could make all the difference in the world to them. And then please subscribe to my channel. Help us keep growing because right now we have millions of viewers. And the reason I do this is because I care and because it is making a difference. So, and also, if you want more tips on decluttering, living a simple life, please visit my website, designservicesltd.com. And remember that your clutter-free life starts with you, and it starts today. And best of luck.